For Pagination, let's see how our design is gonna be. So you can see that we have two buttons and we have a counter here. So let's go back to our VS Code. We already have a button here. All we need to do is we will have two buttons, and in between that we will have text which will say that page 1 of 10 might be. So this is how it is gonna be, and this would be our previous and this would be next. Now first let's start with this text, because this is gonna be a very easy one to handle, because we want total page. Now if you will go back to our service, you will see that we already getting pages here. So we know that how many pages are there. So now what we can do is we can create a new state and we will have total pages and set total pages. And I can see I did a typo here. I will fix it later because there are two double S. It should not be like that. Let's go to our API request here, and it would be response.info.total pages. Okay, and let's take this total pages. Let's go here, page 1 of total pages, and let's put this also in a condition. What we want, if we have pages, then only this should come, otherwise it should not. So what we can do is we can have a condition here like this. And let me just put this in a wrapper div. Let me format it. Why it is complaining? Let's see. Have more than one parent. Yes, it has. So what we will do is we will, where it is ending, I'm just trying to see where it is ending. Ah, perfect. Let's, okay, again this is complaining. The reason is because of this. Now let's format it once again. Now it is looking better. Let's go back, refresh. Okay, why our total pages is not coming? Let's see here if I am picking the right one. Oh, it's pages, not total pages. Here, so the state should be correct, and we have page 1 of 42. So this is coming correct, and our buttons are not coming. So let's see why our buttons are not coming. This is our button. We do have button label. Let's try to have some class names here. Class styling. So we want BG gray 600. Let's go back. Yeah, our buttons are not coming. We have button, we have button, we have previous. Why it is not coming? Oh, obviously I did a wrong thing. I made it like a normal button. It should be button label. If you already guessed this, then good, you already know React, and it should be previous, and it should be next. Now it will come. Yep, it is coming. So you can see these are coming. Definitely the UI is not great. We will fix it, don't worry. So now what we are gonna do is to fix our styling. First we are gonna focus there. So in our button component, there are few things which we require. What I want is this styling part should come from our parent component. So I will have classes, plus I'm gonna have a disabled property also. Why disabled property? So that if we are on the last page, then button should be disabled. Otherwise, first page or last page. So if we are on last page, the next button should be disabled. If we are on first page, then previous should be disabled, because it's logical. there's nothing on first page, there's nothing to go previous, so that's why. And I will have my class name here. Perfect. Okay, now let's come here and let's now start working on the design part. So we have button label. Now classes, we are going to add classes. It will have bg black and text white. What it is going to have is, it is going to have padding 2, rounded medium. Let's see. Yeah, this is looking fine. Not perfect, but fine. Same we can have here. Yep. And now what we need to do is, we need to now style, because these should come in one row. So again, the same thing, we are gonna use our flex. So we will have flex, we will have gap between them, gap, we are gonna have margin also, and we are gonna have justify center. So you can see this is looking fine. Now for this one, what we can do is, let me see if I can do item baseline. No, I want to align this text. We will do it later on. Let's move ahead. So this property is not impacting because this is for the child. Let me see if I can put it here. Sorry, I'm just trying to make it. No. Okay, we will come back to this to align this. So as of now, I will leave it like this. Now let's talk about the functionality, that how the functionality is gonna work. The good thing here is that we are getting our next and previous from our API, but there are few things which we need to take care of. The first of that is that we need to keep the count of the pages, that where we are and where, when we are clicking, what is happening with that. And for that, first we need to do a little bit change in our API. So what we need to do is, we need to tell that return us the page 1, and when we are doing API request, in this we need to send the our one of the query parameter, which is our question mark page equals to dollar and this page. So now what will happen is, when first request will go, it will return us the page 1, and once we will click on next, this page increment will, we need to increment this page, and this API request will go. If we will decrement, then it will reduce the page counter. So this is what we need to do. So now what we are gonna do is, we are gonna write a method for this, which will handle page change. And every time we are gonna do a click, we are gonna update this. So we need a state for this. The state for this would be setting up our current page. So we will start from here, const current page. The initial one would be 1, set current page, use state 1. Let's take this, go to our method and just set here. Okay, this new page. Perfect. Now what we are gonna do is, whenever we are doing a click on our button, at that time we are gonna call this. So we will go to our button, which is, first one is our previous. So what we are gonna do is, in our click handler, we are gonna write handle page, take the current page minus 1. Okay, and for our next one, we are gonna write +1. Perfect. And also we need to take care of the disable functionality, but before that, Let me format this so that we can see it in a formatted way. Now when it should be disabled, when this button should be disabled, this button should be disabled when our current page is equal to 1, so that the previous button should not be enabled. And when this next button should be disabled when it is equal to total pages. Okay, and also now because we have current page counter, we can very beautifully remove this hard-coded 1 with our state. Now let's go here. Let's go to our pagination, page 1 of 42. Okay, so counter is changing, but our data is not updating. Now why? The reason is, though we are changing the counter here, but we are not calling our API request or our data again. So what we need to do is we need to call this get characters again, and in this we need to also pass this new page counter. Okay, the reason our API data is not refreshing because we are not sending the updated page counter to our API. Now let's refresh it, and now you can see our data is working, and you can see 7 and this is working. Now let's check our disability button disable is working or not. So you can see that I'm trying to click, but it is not working. But from UI perspective, I need to show from my UI also that this is disabled, the button is disabled, you cannot click. So how we can do that? So for that, all we need to do is, just when we are doing our classes here, we can use this condition. And what I will do here, okay, so here I will just remove these, take this, put it in here. Okay, so if it is gonna be true, then what I want, the BG gray 200 should be there. Otherwise it should be BG black, text white, and whatever we want. Okay, in fact I want this to be here also. And this should be current. Perfect. And you can see this is disabled now. Once I will click, it is enabled. Okay, and same we will do here in our next button. Let's come here and let's do this change. Perfect. Oh, this is disabled right now because this condition should be total pages. Now it is fine. So when we will reach to the 42, this button will be disabled. Okay, so our pagination is done, our search is done. Now what is left? Let's go back here. Pagination is done, search is done, styling is left. We need to fix little bit of styling, or as well as we need to do the code optimization too. Okay, so we will look into the styling part, little bit of styling we will do, and then I will make a separate video where we are gonna talk about the code optimization, and then we will have the test cases also. So let's move towards the styling part, that what we can fix right now.